All right, welcome back to the Brown Boss Podcast. Can how you doing, man?
Good, bro. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. Getting ready for travels. Should be fun.
You're going to
Gonna go
Paris,
to
right?
Wemby's
Excited?
hometown. Yep.
That's a lot of
Should be
fun,
fun,
man.
man. A lot of good food out there.
You're going to be eating your croissants,
Croissants and my pando chocolate, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
man.
dude.
Eating it like under
Some
the
duck liver. How about that for Indian diet, huh?
duck liver. Okay. Very interesting, man. Never heard of that, but damn.
We'll try it one time, man. I'll take you and we'll try it. You gotta try it.
I'll watch you. I'll watch you eat like
you get it. It's like butter. You get it over and you spread it over bread and you eat it. It's really good.
I'll watch you eat how you ate the steak in front of me when you got not even medium rare. You literally got rare, where the blood was literally coming out of that goddamn.
Part. Okay, for context for our listeners, I always am Indian, but I am not your traditional Indian. I eat all kinds of meat. I'm always down to try new things. Kanil is very much a very strict vegetarian. Never has tried meat in his life. Whenever we hang out, it's always like I think he lives vicariously through me as I'm eating the meat. And he's like, "What have you tried?" I'm like, "I've tried alligator. I've tried this." He's like, "Yo, that's crazy." One day I will tell you. I'll tell you. You know, God's not looking. Let's go try some steak.
Right, dude. Honestly, dude, Tapas, you're one guy I know you eat anything that moves. Like God
I
damn.
do. See, I'm on a seafood diet. You know, I seafood and I eat it.
There you go. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
All right, let's get into some basketball first, brother. So, as usual, we had the first two games of the NBA Finals. Pacers against OKC. You were very hyped after the first game, saying that it's over. OKC's gonna lose.
I never said it's over. I thought we're gonna do our next podcast, which was supposed to be yesterday, but today. I thought you told me that OKC will be up 2-0, and they're not up.
This is so right now. Currently, OKC's up 1-1, or they're
tied.
not up. It's tied 1-1. But we all know where this is headed. But you know what this reminds me of is the 2000s Lakers championship where the Sixers won one game and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And it's like they went on to win in 5. So it's the same thing. Like, yes, they won, great job, but you saw exactly what the OKC Thunder are about in Game 2, and that's exactly what we're going to see going forward.
You better hope it's the 2000 Lakers and not the 2005 Lakers where Detroit won that game 1.
Right.
So you better hope this is not the Detroit Pistons,
See,
man.
there's a big contrast because that Detroit team was the best defensive team in the league. Indiana is not best offense or defense team. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely a very exciting series, nonetheless. What are your thoughts so far? Are you still confident? Pacers in 6? Where are you at right now?
All right, man. I'll tell you straight up, man. Pacers have hope they can beat OKC. OKC came out as this type of team that's like not beatable, and everyone thought the series was going to be easy 5-4, whatever you want to call it. But I do want to say that, them taking that game 1 does give hope to Indiana they could win this. And game 2, they were there, and then OKC just took off.
First quarter?
I mean, they were there second quarter too, but yes. And OKC took off, man. And but look, man, home court goes to Indiana right now, right? So until OKC wins that one game, Indiana doesn't have to win in OKC anymore. So Indiana can still wrap it up in 6 as long as they take care of their home court, and then the game series is over. OKC still has to come to Indiana and win this game. So. And Indiana's going to be going crazy because they haven't hosted a finals game since like in 25 years almost now. So they're gonna be hyping. They're gonna be hyped. Last time they were in it, man, like one generation wasn't even there. So I mean, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. But I mean, I was shocked that with the fashion that OKC gave up that game 1 and Indiana won. I do see that Halliburton needs to be more. You see Richard Jefferson saying in the telecast that he needs to look to shoot. He can't just look to pass.
I just look at the basket, yeah, sure.
I mean, just try to attempt, man. I understand that. Look, honestly, Halliburton had 17 points in the game 2, but dude, that 10-point came in the fourth quarter when the game was already done and decided. I mean, what are you gonna do then? He should have been doing that in the second quarter third quarter, not fourth quarter when the game's out of reach, you know. So Halliburton needs to find and take that shot. He has open layups and he's passing those up, man. So, but I still think this series is gonna be competitive. Look, I'm not saying OKC is not gonna win this series; they can still win it. They're the best team in the NBA, but the pressure is definitely on, and you can see the pressure, feeling the pressure too. So let's see how it goes, man. And you know, Williams is not performing. You know, their second best player for OKC, he's not playing comfortable for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the lights are too big for him or what, but Chet bounced back a little, you know, but I'm telling you, man, the Williams is not very comfortable with his shot right now, the way he's playing. Shy is doing shy things, you know. I mean, game 1 had 38, game 2 he had 34, so he's doing shy things. Alex Caruso is their main guy who's doing good, man. I mean,
yeah,
you know, he put up 18 points, 16 points, whatever, for game 2, and the game 1 he had a solid game, like 11 points. Alex Caruso, man, he's a dog, you know, so which is good for them. But overall, man, I'm excited for game 3. It's tomorrow. Let's see how it goes, man. It's gonna be Indiana's first home game, you know, so can't wait.
I will say, right, this is a classic. It wasn't Indiana winning game 1. It was the Thunder losing game 2. They gave that game away. Right? They got a little too comfortable. They had a big lead, and then they got a little too comfortable, and Indiana came back and won, right? So, like, that's the one thing that I think every team that Indiana has gone through, they've had these kind of comeback wins, right? Against the New York Knicks, they did it twice. So I think what OKC has learned now is, no, we got to put this team away now. We can't let them linger around. We can't make it close. It's kind of like, you know how against the Timberwolves series, Anthony Edwards was doing really, really well first 2 games. And then OKC figured him out. And after that, he was scoring 15, 16 points. I think the same thing's happening to Halliburton. I think he's doing what, like Ant said, oh, I'm doing what they're giving me, or I'm doing the right thing, I'm making the right plays. And exactly that's what they want you to do. They don't want him to be a scorer. They're giving him the open lane, hey, go inside, go ahead, go make your passes. And nobody's hitting it, you know. Neesmith is not doing anything out there. Siakam is very inconsistent. And also the scary part is, and like you said too, the two of the 3 best players for OKC is not playing well. Holmgren and Jalen Williams. That's not going to last. Honestly, Jalen Williams may have a monster game, and this, so even at not full power, they got blown out against OKC. This time the Pacers did. So I just don't think it's very competitive in my eyes. I think it's still going to be in 5 games. I think OKC has figured out Halliburton, and they're just going to be like, all right, Siakam, go ahead. Go score 50 on us if you could. That'd be a career high for you. Go ahead. But Hallie is not going to do anything. I think that's their game plan, and I think they're really going to stick to that. Because who else in that team do you see going off in terms of Pacers? Do you see like Miles Turner going off? No. Neesmith may hit a couple of 3-pointers here and there, but nobody else is there like to really go off. Versus Thunder have plenty of weapons.
Yeah,
they even had that kid. Obviously Caruso. He had 20 points. Only 2 players in this 2 games so far has scored more than 20 points. That's Caruso and Shea.
Yeah.
No Pacer has scored over 20 yet.
Oh yeah.
So it just tells you
it's
that
crazy,
this is
though.
not.
It's still 1-1 though, even after that.
It's still 1-1. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So that's why for me, I think OKC really gave away game 1. They had that game. They gave it away. They got a little too easy. They got a little too lackadaisical.
Don't you think Cavs has said the same thing, up 20 every time? And giving game 1 and 2 like that. Same thing with New York, exactly. Being up about close to 20 and giving up game 1. I mean,
the difference is, though, I think the Cavs never learned a lesson. They were very injury prone, so they didn't. And then the Knicks were the Knicks. I think they were just not built to win. I just feel like OKC is just such a better team overall, like from defensive point and offensive, that like I don't think they really will have the same kind of issue going forward.
It's gonna be very key how Indiana responds to game 3.
This is a big one.
I do feel the game 3 has to go Indiana's way. They have to win that game 3. If OKC wins game 3, I feel like then it's a gentleman's sweep coming up.
80% of times, the teams who win game 3 after a 1-1 tie win the series. 80%. So.
Exactly. So I think Indiana better be focused and win this game 3, because then you put the pressure back onto OKC. Because the thing is this: if OKC don't win game 4, going back to if this series goes 3-1 Pacers, man, I don't think OKC comes back in the series.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If it goes 3-1 Pacers, yeah, for sure. I don't think
So
OKC
if Indiana,
because
yeah,
you can just tell that they're not going to beat the Pacers 3 more times straight. If they can't beat them at this point, they can't.
Exactly. So I think game 3 is going to be very important for both teams, but it's very important for Indiana just to kind of say that, hey, we can prolong the series to 6 or 7, and not be a gentleman's sweep kind of thing. So I'm excited for game 3. Halliburton needs to show up, man, offensively, and he needs to have that Halliburton game he had in game 1 against New York where he had game 2 where he had 32, 14, and 12 or something, that big triple-double. And, so he needs to have that type of game. In my view, he needs to have that game 3 and take the team on the back and, be that focal point. So,
yeah, I think he's too involved in trying to get his teammates going. He's trying to get a lot of assists right off the bat, but his scoring is just so inconsistent. And I think right what you mentioned, Richard Jefferson said, you can just tell he was kind of playing like Ben Simmons out there. He wouldn't look at the basket. He would just drive in and kick, and it's dude, just look at the basket. You have a wide open layup or get to the free throw line because he didn't even shoot any free throws in game 2 either. Get to the free throw line, make some. I mean, that's what Shea's doing, right? Shea's out there I'm gonna will this team. I'm gonna go out there to the rim, put my body on line, and just go and go for it. So
I agree.
He's doing all he can,
Who you got game 3?
OKC 5. I told you, blowout, easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jalen Williams will score at least 22 points.
So you leave tomorrow. Are you taking a red eye tomorrow? Are you night flight or is the morning flight tomorrow?
Yeah, I leave 5 p.m. So yeah, I'm gonna miss the game.
Dang. Okay. So your flight's at 5 p.m.
Unless if the Wi-Fi, if they have the game on.
All right. And you come back next Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be wrapped by then. We'll be watching the OKC parade happen. By then.
So game 7, could potentially fall when you come back, right? Because look, game 3 and 4 is Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday. Then game 5 is Sunday or Monday or something. And then so
when I come back, they'll win a championship. Shea will be the best OKC Thunder of all time. They'll be planning their. It's all wrapped, dude.
I hope
you're gonna do the aerobics class, right? The yoga class.
The aerial aerobic.
Aerial yoga.
Tapas, your phone's gonna blow up if somehow Indiana wins this game. I'm gonna find your Paris's number that you have.
You're gonna take the international out. You're like, no, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll pay for this.
While you enjoying your croissant under the Alpha Tower, I'll be making sure and calling you up and saying, "Yo, we gotta do a pod. We gotta do an ER pod right now. An emergency pod. Reaction. Get on that shit now,
man." But so far, I mean, again, it's definitely much better. I think game 1 that they won was definitely a shock. I mean, I watched it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And then
what is your reaction?
They lost.
What is your reaction? You watched that game, right? So tell me your reaction. I want to know that.
My first reaction was I'm gonna get a call from Kenny and be just like, I told you. And right when I was thinking that, then I get your FaceTime. That's why I answered within one click. I'm like, here we go. Let's hear it. I was just like, this is a deja vu. How do teams not know? You just can't keep it close to the Pacers. They just find a way to execute down the stretch. You just gotta have at least a 20-point lead going into the last 2 minutes, and then you're fine. But if you watch the Knicks series, you watch the Cavs series, you just gotta know, come on, dude. If it's a close series, you just cannot keep it close. And the Thunder just didn't have any execution down the stretch. It was just Shea doing one-on-ones, and he just couldn't get anything going with his jumper, and nobody else was stepping up. So,
I mean, I was shocked that they did it again. They did 4 straight series, man. I'm just so shocked.
Crazy.
They had against Milwaukee, they had against Cavs, twice against Cavs, once against New York, and one in the finals. I was like, dude, and they won game 1 in every series, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty crazy. I don't know how that happens, man. But yeah, man, let's see how the series goes, man. I mean, it's exciting. I'm glad it's competitive, little. It's 1-1 and not 2-0.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but I do want to talk. I do want to get your opinion, man. There's been little my brother's in the back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I do want to say, people are making fuss about the NBA Finals, like not being the NBA Finals, meaning like there's no, back in the 2000s, they used to dress up the center court as a trophy,
Yeah, with the
and
trophy,
like,
right?
yeah, and like NBA Finals used to be I don't know, like a main event kind of thing, right? Or you can tell it's the NBA Finals, right? Um, I I know for a fact that ever since Adam Silver has taken over, he has not made NBA Finals a main event. He talked about it.
Hmm.
He's like, look, I want NBA Finals to be where football, Super Bowl, where you don't care what team makes it, you're still gonna have a Super Bowl like main event, right? And he wants NBA to be like that. You should be happy that Indiana and OKC are in it. You should be rooting for these two teams. You know who's gonna come out. But then at the same time, you go and you take out that NBA trophy out of that center court. There's nothing that says NBA Finals on it. I mean,
Yeah.
all it says is like presented by YouTube, and yeah, maybe has 2025 Finals written somewhere on the court, but it doesn't really show. And then they said that, so they came back and said that the reason they don't have the NBA Final trophy on the center court anymore is because of players' health, injury issues, like like the safety issues, But then they're kind of being morons, because if that's the case, then why does the in-season tournament have that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The whole freaking court is painted.
and then the center court is freaking the incident trophy, and like, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I feel NBA is losing the purpose. They're losing their purpose in a way where they're trying to make the game better and not the finals better, and that's why people don't. That's why the ratings are so low, is because they're trying to make the other aspect of the NBA better than the NBA finals better, because
Mm.
they care more about having international games,
Yeah.
like in Mexico or in London or whatever. They care more about having this stupid ass in-season tournament in December that no one gives a shit about, where
Hmm.
for the 2 months, people play, in-season tournament with different color courts. They pay for money for that, but when the NBA Finals comes, it seems like a regular freaking season game. Like OKC Thunder, that's just a fucking regular season court. Like, where is it? Like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I'm disappointed, because before, when Shaq and Kobe were in the finals, or Kobe and Powell were in the finals, you felt that NBA Finals is here. You felt like the media's there. Like the media, like outlet and everything, and like it's not that anymore, man. What's your take on that? So
I agree with you. I think like I don't know if it's the fact that it's two small market teams and just the excitement's not there. Maybe from NBA perspective, like if they had New York in there, I think they probably would have done something. But because it's the Pacers and it's OKC, it's like okay, there's no like. I mean, we're calling Shea a superstar now, but he wasn't really a superstar before. So I think that's probably what it is too. It's just not like they're expecting no ratings, and I think the ratings are pretty low for this too. The coverage has been pretty bad. It's just ESPN, and ESPN doesn't know what to do with this stuff. They don't market it very well. They don't have the top teams out there. Like all the commentators are just kind of like having fun, not really really invested into the finals. So like I think that's what it is too. I think just general hype with the NBA front office is not there. Maybe it could be like you said, they're more focused on other things like international play, international players, and international attention in season for some reason, which is like nobody watches in season. I'm not sure why they are so passionate about that. And they did try to do it in game two, but it was a fake one. It was like an on screen thing, like how they do with NFL, and people are like, dude, that's so fake. It's so like it's just kind of like them just saying, here, fine, here you go. Like we put something to make you guys stop crying about it, but it's like that's even worse. That's even less genuine than just saying, oh, our bad, we're gonna put something out there. I think that's probably what it is too. I think they're probably just not expecting high ratings for this. And I think Jeff Cheek in his Club 520 podcast, he said that too. Like, it's like it looks like it's like a regular Tuesday night game in Indiana. There's no hype around it. Like, oh, who cares? Okay, why are we paying 3 times the price? It's just a regular game. That's what it feels like when they see the atmosphere. Yeah,
even in Kobe and Powell days and Shaq days too, man, they televise the intros. That's what
yeah,
NBA Finals is all about,
yeah,
televising the intros. And I remember when we played Boston or Orlando one of those years, where they actually, even the intros had like big Larry O'Brien balloon trophy, like,
Yeah.
coming out of the starting lineup, like teams coming out, like there's
Yeah.
no aura about this, man. Like,
Yeah.
everything is missing. Like there's like ABC doesn't even want to televise the intro. Like that's what is NBA's finals all about, like getting the hyped up, man.
Yeah.
And like I remember, like even the post game, there used to be
Mhm.
times where yes, I understand Scott Van Pelt is their guy after the game's over. He does interview players, who winning
Mhm.
team players. But I remember back in the day, man, it used to be either Stephen A. Smith or Lisa Salter, where they used to have like an NBA Finals banner in the back, and they used to be like a private room where they talk about, like, okay, let's take it to Stephen A. Smith. He's with Kawhi Leonard. He won Toronto War in the finals, or Lisa Salter. Is in the room with that person. Like after the
Yeah.
game's over. Like there's no aura about that anymore, man. Like the magic is not there. Like, what does NBA not want to take any kind of credit that, hey, these two teams are playing? They're embarrassed, or what's going on?
I think that's probably what it is. I think it's not the matchup they wanted because, again, ratings wise, they're suffering. I think the ratings are significantly down compared to last year with Luka and Boston. So I think that's what it is too. Like they're just realizing, okay, well, no one's gonna watch this. Why are we gonna put more money into this? And no one's gonna give a shit. So it sucks because this should be this is a big moment for NBA because you're having two teams who will potentially win their first championship ever. Like this should have been like, this is historic. This is the first time these teams are even getting, like, I mean, not getting this far, but like getting this close to the championship, and like and they just don't care, especially Pacers. I mean, this is a Cinderella team almost, right? The Pacers are a Cinderella team. Right? They beat the best. They beat the number one team in Cavs. They beat the Knicks. Like this is a Cinderella team, and you're not even celebrating that. Like it's just one of those things where, like, yeah, they're like, okay, sure, yeah, we'll just put something up on the screen for you guys to just stop talking about it.
Just so crazy to me, man. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully next year is different. I don't know if ESPN still has the NBA Finals. I don't know who has next year,
I think they
but
do, right? Because
they
they
do.
they
Okay,
bought out TNT in the
yeah.
NBA. They're gonna all go towards ESPN. So they're probably just gonna own everything now.
Okay, I know NBC's in there, and also Amazon's in there too.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
know. But next thing I want to talk about, man, is what's your take on New York Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau? It happened right after our podcast. Actually, it happened the
Yeah, it
next
did.
morning. It happened on Tuesday morning. That came out of the blues, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of called it, right? You said it was his fault, like that he would probably. And I was like, dude, like Jalen Brunson liked him, and he actually got offended after the press conference that someone even said, "Well, do you think he's the right guy?" He's like, of course he's the right guy. So I was kind of surprised by that. I mean, I think just like this is the most, this is the furthest the Knicks have ever gotten, and this is by also, like, they weren't expected to get that far, and Tom Thibodeau got them that far, to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, like, I just don't know what you need to do in the NBA to have any kind of security. It can't be coach of the year. If you're coach of the year, fired. It can't be you won a championship and you can get fired next year. If you finally take a team after 25 years to the Eastern Conference Finals, you're gonna get fired. Like, it's just, what do you want them to do? So I think the rumor right now is that the Knicks wanted Tom Thibodeau, but they have someone better in mind that they can replace him. And I think they're saying now is Jason Kidd. I don't know if Jason Kidd's right choice for this. I just don't, because it's such a quick transition from Dallas to this, but I don't know. I think Tom Thibodeau was the right guy. I know he had his ways. He was, very strict about his lineup and all that kind of stuff, but like, he still got you so far. I mean, you beat the best team in the league, which is Boston Celtics. Like, that in itself should have kept his job. You know, it's like, freaking, I don't know, Sean McVay, if he's gonna get fired, but then he beats the Eagles, like, okay, you beat the best team. So Sean McVay should feel like, okay, I still should deserve to stay here. But I don't know, man. I didn't like the move at all. I don't. It's classic Knicks. They just make some dumb moves after getting so close to it too.
I
What do you
think
think?
I think every season, you got, as a coach, you got to adapt to how the season's going, right? So this year is all about going deep in your bench, right? Playing all up to 10 players, right? Not just 6 players, 7 players, up to 10, 11 players. That was the thing that was
Mhm.
going, right? JJ Redick didn't really do that in the playoffs either. So the writing was kind of on the wall when what is his name? Miles Bridges? No, Mikal Bridges, right? That's his
Mika
name.
Bridges, yeah.
Mikal Bridges said during the middle of the season that the report came out that he told Thibodeau that, hey, man, I feel we have a deep team. I shouldn't be playing 38 minutes a game,
Yeah,
You shouldn't let us play that much minutes. We have a deeper team. You should let other guys play minutes. You're essentially telling the coach what to do.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, which I agree with Mikal Bridges for him to say that, because it's a regular season game. You're not supposed to play 38 minutes unless you have to win that game,
Right.
Unless the game is in the fourth quarter and you're down by 5, you have to play. If you're up by I've noticed Knicks games, man, where they're up by 14, 15 in second half, Tom Thibodeau will still have Jalen Brunson, Towns, and Mikal Bridges. So writing was kind of on the wall, and I kind of felt that too. And then when he went into the playoffs, second year in a row against Indiana, last year was semi-conference. Last year they can blame it on the fact that Julius Randle was out. Jalen Brunson in Game 7 got injured. He didn't play a second half, and so they lost that series. Mm-hmm. But this year, clearly, they were a better team than Indiana Pacers were. They had a home court, which they couldn't even get to Game 7. They had a home court. They lost to Indiana again. You can't lose to your rival like that again, And yes, I understand that he got New York out of the to the Eastern Conference in 20-something years, which is great. But again, getting to it was not satisfying for the management, right? Because they felt they were clearly a better team. Even I felt they were clearly a better team. Once they beat Boston Celtics, I felt they were clearly the better team, against Indiana. And the way they showed up against Indiana, losing 2 games at home, 0-2. At least OKC split 1-1. New York lost 2 games in New York. That's just a gut wrencher, man. You can't do that. I mean, in the playoffs, you can't do that. And then what happens is that in the playoffs, you become, as a veteran coach, you kind of get schooled by not knowing your rotations and for example, playing some players and playing other players. What are you doing? What are you doing with your lineup? Why are you changing it up now all of a sudden? Stay true to it, go with it, and let's see what happens. And he just didn't use his bench, man. And look, I don't know if that was a better guy in place. The report just came out with Shams that they asked permission to talk if they can talk to Imo Udoka from Houston and Finch from Minnesota. Both of the teams denied that, and they don't want that. So they denied that. Jason Kidd is still in play. They really like Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd is also interested in New York as well. So I wouldn't be surprised because Jason Kidd, I know for a fact that once they traded Luka away, and he was out the door.
Yeah, he's over it.
Because the thing is, when they traded Luka away, they had him talk, and he's like, I had nothing to do with it. Why are you making me a spokesperson?
Yeah.
He hated it. So it's you didn't even keep me in the loop, and you did this shit to me, right? So I'm not surprised if Jason Kidd tells the management in Dallas hey, I want to leave, dude. I don't want to be here. You guys can have a better coach, and with this team, whatever you want to do with it. I want to get the hell out of here. But I do think that Tom Thibodeau kind of lost the team, man, in the playoffs because people were bickering, fighting. He did his rotation was really bad, man. Like I told you, I give you an example. Having Jalen Brunson play the whole first quarter and then bring him back when 4 minutes left in the second quarter does not really make sense, man. You can't do that. You gotta have a rotation in a way where, okay, fine, Jalen Brunson can play the first 8 minutes and send him out in the first quarter, end of first quarter. Bring him back in the early part of the second quarter, 9 minutes ago or 7 minutes ago. Don't bring him back with 4 minutes left, And then what they lost was when they benched Karl Anthony Towns, the second best player. They traded for. They traded Julius Randle and Dante and a first-round pick for Cat. And they benched his ass in Game 2. In the whole fourth quarter, it was Robinson playing. Mitchell Robinson was playing. You can't do that. Your second best player cannot be on the bench. Doesn't matter how bad he is, you have to put him out there. One of my friends was trying to argue with me when that happened, right? It's well, Mitchell Robinson was giving them a better defensive game. I'm like, I don't give a shit about defense. You have to put somebody out there just to kind of have him out there so the team has to respect Jalen Brunson. It's kind of like Shohei Ohtani. Dodgers knew Shohei cannot even move his arm all the way up. But they had to put him in the lineup just so Mookie can get his pitches. Freeman can get his pitches. Because if Shohei is not on that lineup and playing, batting first or second or whatever he's batting, then the team can pitch better to Mookie and Friedman. But having Shohei out there, he's still a threat, man. Shohei, after he got injured after Game 2, he was horrible in the World Series. He was really horrible. He maybe had 1 or 2 hits and that's it. But having him out there is keeping the other team honest, right? So what I'm going back at is saying that, yeah, Carl sucked in defense. He was not good, but you had to put him there in the offense because he's still a presence where you have to respect him. You can play one-on-one with Mitchell, but you cannot play one-on-one with Karl Anthony Towns. He's a good player, offensive minded. So I mean,
But
you have
Cat
to
wasn't
get him
even
out
that
there.
good this series. Like he was so up and down. He had that
Yeah,
one
but
game where he scored 20 in the fourth.
like,
But like,
but
I just don't understand the mentality of players being like, oh, you should play somebody else. I'm playing too many minutes. Name me one true player who is like Anthony Edwards, Shea, like one of those kind of players, or LeBron even, or Luca that would whine because they're not playing enough or they're playing too much. And Mikal Bridges is going to be out there complaining about his coach, but he's not doing anything. He's not a good defensive presence that he should be used for. Nor was he a good offensive presence. So what is he complaining about? Tom Thibodeau is trying to do best with what he
it's
had.
a regular
I
season
get
game.
the rotations were bad, but like but the fact that a coach can take you even with that bad rotation can take you that far and still get first. This is like when the Lakers fired Darvin Ham after when he reached Western Conference Championship and finals rather, and he gets fired, and then we bring in JJ Redick who gets bounced in the first round.
Right.
And we were seeded higher, and as this year's seed, and yet you fire potentially a decent coach in Darvin Ham, right? Like I just don't get like where these owners are coming from, thinking that okay now you put Jason Kidd out there. You really think Jason Kidd can do anything? They're saying Jason Kidd because that's who Giannis wants to play for. Giannis wants to play for Jason Kidd, and so that's why they're trying to use. It's kind of like what's his name, freaking Aaron Rodgers and what was that coach from in the Jets? The same thing. Like, oh, we're gonna hire
Mike
this
Salah.
guy, so Aaron Rodgers comes to us. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that was their whole thing. It was like, dude, that's not gonna work if you're trying to rebuild a culture. I just don't know if Jason Kidd is the right person for that job.
I don't think so
He's
either.
a good coach, but I don't think he's the right person.
I agree with you about that too, man. But I mean, I did say too, Tom Thibodeau did lose it during that series. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
No,
Like,
I get it. I mean,
it was
he
a
also
head
did make a lot
scratcher.
of adjustments that he needed to. I think he realized late that I could play more of my bench players, which he started doing towards the last few games. But yeah, he could have done a better job adjusting better.
Exactly, and that
But
cost
also,
him the
at
job,
the
man.
same time, I just don't think the players, Karl Anthony Towns, and I think Cat and Mikal Bridges had the biggest issue with him. They were the ones that were kind of vocal because Jalen Brunson liked him a lot.
Oh yeah,
And I think that he probably got fired because of Cat. But like these two didn't give you anything. It was to be Jalen Brunson and Cat were the two best players in that series. It became Jalen Brunson by himself, and then Hallie and Siakam were the top three. Like where does Cat fall into that? How did he fall off so far? I don't get it. And so it does frustrate me. Like I just don't know how these.
and you know what? It kind of comes down to coaches too, man. Your assistant coaches, your player coaches. If you know Cat is not a good defensive player, you gotta teach him to become a better defensive player, right? That's what you have to do as a job, right? Like Luka right
He's
now.
not young anymore.
I know he's not, man, but like
Cat's a veteran. Now, why would you need to teach a veteran how to coach an all-star too?
I agree.
Sometimes it's also this player's fault not taking accountability.
I agree with you, man. I completely agree with you. And like going back to Darvin Ham, you said it. Like these are the key points, right? When Mikal Bridges said this, and then also Anthony Davis said it last year during the Denver series in the first round. He said the magic words. He's like, I don't know what we're running out there. I don't know what offense we're running out there. He said it in the media. That's not gonna sit well with the president of the operation and the owner. That's just a clear sign. Get the fuck out of the way. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not capable of running an offense, and your players have no idea, and it's coming from one of your best players saying that I don't know what offense we're running out there. I don't know what we're running out there. Then you're not getting the message across. You lost your team. Then basically, once they say that, it's over. And so that's what happens, man. I mean, NBA is run by players, and that definitely,
that's frustrating, dude. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. So
some of the coaches are actually really good.
Exactly. Good. Let's see who gets it, man. I still feel they don't get Jason Kidd. They will end up getting like Mike Malone, to be honest.
He probably makes sense. I think he makes sense. But I heard Mike Malone is very, very tough. Like he's a tough coach. he yells at. He's not a player's coach by any means.
No.
I don't know if Cat is gonna bitch about Tom Thibodeau. He's not gonna do better with Mike Malone.
I do feel New Yorkers all in to go for Giannis. As much as they don't want to say it in the media, they're all in to go get Giannis. Yeah,
But they said that the only way New York can land him is if he says, "I want out of here. I want to go to New York." Then the Bucks will do something. But if he just says, "I want out of here," it doesn't matter where I go, or I give you 3 destinations, then he probably won't go because the New York Knicks don't have much of a trade capital to get to in order to keep Cat and Jalen Brunson together.
Yeah.
And add Giannis, they can't. It's hard to do that.
Cat will be in that deal. They're saying Cat will be in that deal.
Okay, yeah. If they
Cat's still young enough where he'll be in that deal. Yeah. So the trade would be like it'll be Cat and like either of Mikal or Anunoby. One of them will be in that deal.
Anunoby, yeah.
One of them, either Mikal or.
That makes sense because I know like Stephen A was saying that if they were to give up Jalen Brunson, if they give the Cat and not keep the duo and add Giannis, then it doesn't make sense for them.
Yeah, no.
If they can't keep Cat and Brunson and Giannis, that makes sense. But if they can't, then there's no point in doing it. I still think it's better because again, with Giannis, you're gonna get an easy 30 and 15 every single game.
Exactly.
He'll go out there and put it up, like no matter what happens.
And he'll play defense down low too.
He'll play defense exactly. So it's a way bigger upgrade with versus Cat.
Man, another news, not in NBA but NFL. Man, your boy is returning one more year, Mr. Rodgers. Steelers. What's your take on that, my man?
Man, this is another take of. Mike Tomlin will be my hot take. I guess Mike Tomlin will miss the playoffs, and it'd be his first season being under 500. This is the season.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
42-year-old Aaron Rodgers with one weapon, no running game. You expecting him to go out there and beat Tom Brady? Not gonna happen, dude. I don't care what coach you give him. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, and I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's the best coach in the NFL. But no, this is not it, dude.
He hasn't had a losing season, bro. He thinks to be the first losing season.
Exactly. This would be the first one. Might even cost him his job. What do you think?
I think, which will shock you, I'm not a Rodgers fan at all, man.
Of course not.
This is actually a good recipe for 2 people. I think they'll do good. They will make the NFC Championship. AFC.
Okay, you realize who's in their conference, right?
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm well aware.
Okay, so for
well
sure
aware of that. Ravens
are going to win that division, and I can also feel very confident this year Cincinnati will get it right.
I hope so.
I think so.
I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the division.
You have them in the championship, AFC.
Don't make the playoffs.
The wild card?
Yeah,
the last place of wild card going all the way over
Don't make the playoffs. But like what I'm trying to say is
the defense isn't there.
Look, Rodgers have so much to prove, man. Meaning like he has ruined his career for the past 3 years, right? With the Jets and ending with the Green Bay was bad, man. Brutally bad. He went from like first ballot Hall of Fame, unarguably really good QB, great QB to good QB to all right. This guy's career is really bad right now. And I do feel that Rodgers is desperate to have a better year because what he showed last year with the Jets was horrible. They lost all faith in him, and so he needs to prove that he's back, he's healthy, he's capable of making those throws, those plays, and he's coachable.
You think he's coachable?
No, he needs to prove. He needs to prove he's coachable. And Mike Tomlin, he's not a player's coach.
Okay.
He's a very hard-nosed coach, man. Old school coach. Look, Rodgers hasn't had a coach like this, man.
Do you think in this signing, who was more desperate? Was it Rodgers wanting to play for the Steelers, or was it Steelers wanting Rodgers? Who was more desperate?
I won't say both, but if I have to pick one, I know you're gonna laugh. I think Steelers was desperate.
No, I agree. Steelers desperate. So with that in mind, what makes you think that they're gonna be like, Rodgers, you're doing it this way. This is what you're doing. Don't do wrong. Don't mess up.
It's a 1-year deal.
They're the desperate party.
It's a 1-year deal. Like I said, I feel both parties are desperate because Rodgers was getting no offers from anywhere, right?
Okay. You know what desperation looks like. to prove yourself. You know what it looks like?
Tell me.
Is Tom Brady signed with Tampa Bay during COVID protocol and saying, "I'm going to sign right away. I want my wide receivers. We're going to go to a football gym, high school football, and we're going to throw a ball, even though we can't." That's desperation. Rodgers is out there doing African safari, whatever, in ayahuasca, and signing a week before OTAs or 2 weeks before OTAs, and then not going to show up for that. That's not desperation. If you're desperate, you're like, okay, I'm signed in. Let's go. I want to make sure we're involved in the off-season stuff. Let's get a good quarterback. That's desperation.
No, I agree.
You
I
want to
agree with
prove
you.
yourself. He's showing none of that.
But don't you think?
Desperation also, Kobe Bryant tears his Achilles. He's like, I'll be back. He wasn't the same player, but he still put up 25, 26 points per game. Was still Kobe as he is. The franchise did him wrong, but he was still out there desperate, trying to prove himself. That's desperation.
No, I get
Rodgers
you.
is showing me none of that.
No, I get you. But I do feel that, he hasn't played
He's
to the level
hoping.
that he needs to, man. He needs to show up, man. He needs to play well. He needs to play better. And I know Mike Tomlin is no bullshit guy, and Roger hasn't had a coach like this. Look, every coach he had, he was bigger than them. Roger was bigger, In this case, Rogers is not. Look,
But you just said they're the desperate team.
I agree, but like I said,
so how can Mike Tomlin coach somebody if he's the desperate one?
I know, but they can still move on from him. They can be like, look,
No,
it's
they
not
could.
working.
But it's going to cost Tomlin another year. You just made a big trade in the offseason for
Metcalf.
Another head case, right?
Metcalf, yeah.
Metcalf. And you give away Pickens. So
it was a head case too,
desperation, right? So I think this is my thing is Cincinnati gets better. Browns may get a little bit better because Deshaun Watson is not going to be throwing the ball out there. So Browns will get better. And of course, Lamar's Lamar. I don't see the Steelers in that conference surviving. They'll be lucky if they break 500, and even if they do break 500, they're not beating the other teams like the Lions, the Minnesota, who they're facing. They're not beating those teams. So this will be the first season Mike Tomlin will not. I just hope it doesn't cost him his job. That's all I hope.
won't,
because
man.
He's a damn good coach.
If it does, there'll be teams lining up for him already. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
He'll get a job right away within an hour.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It was only a matter of time. We all knew he was gonna sign there, right? He was gonna go. Rodgers was gonna go there.
It was obvious.
That's when I saw it. I was just like, dude, and it was obvious the Steelers were desperate because they waited. They passed up on all these players. I mean, do you put Rodgers better than Geno Smith? I don't. Do you put at currently where he's at playing level wise? Is he better than
Justin Fields that they had? No.
Stanford? Oh, what's his name? Not Stanford. The guy from former Vikings, Sam Darnold. Is he better than? I don't think so. Not the way he's playing. He's not getting better with age. I don't know. They passed up on a couple of decent QBs. I think they said the backup now is Kirk Cousins, who they'll overpay for. So I just don't know what the Steelers are doing. The first time they're fumbling so badly with their offseason. Usually they're pretty good about it. They're like the Patriots. They're very intentional with their signings. This offseason they've just been like hoping and praying Rodgers will say yes. If it was a no, then they're going to try to overpay for Kirk Cousins.
Dude, I mean, they should have. Kirk Cousins would have been a better option. He still has a lot of left.
I agree.
I like Kirk Cousins a lot, man. So
yeah. So I don't know, man. This should be interesting. I mean, it's the final thing now, so we'll see when or how it shapes up with Rodgers.
So
what you got, man?
So I want you to take on this Saquon Barkley being the cover of Madden, man. The curse comes along with it, man. Let's talk about the curse. Do you know there's two curses, man? To be honest, I don't know if you heard of this.
So I only know Madden curse. What's the other curse?
This offensive player. He also got offensive player World War II, right? And so
that's right.
So first is the Madden curse, right? Where running backs were, cover Madden. So the last one was McCaffrey.
Yeah,
he was on the cover. Played 4 games. Before then it was. he's not on it. He actually produced well. Hillis. He only rushed for 1,258. Rest of his career. Not even a year. Rest of his career.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sean Alexander from Seattle only had 11 touchdowns rest of his career too. Marshall Faulk he had 0 1,000-yard seasons after that. Marshall Faulk back in early 2000s, and then George, from the Titans, didn't do much after that. But the crazy one is the offensive player of the year. This is insane. The last 5 offensive player of the year, right? I'll go from 2024, which was McCaffrey, missed 13 games last year. Year before was Jefferson from Minnesota, the right receiver, 7 games. Cooper Kupp from the Rams in 2022,
Yikes.
the year after they won the Super Bowl. He missed 8 games. He had a bad year. Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans at the time.
Injured, that's right.
Missed 9 games.
Yeah.
And then obviously the guy from New Orleans, the wide receiver Thomas. He missed 9 games.
Yeah.
So if you're fantasy people, I would not pick Saquon, man, because the last 5 offensive player of the years all missed more than half of the games, man, of the season. So
I don't know, man. These things do end up happening to be true.
Especially offensive player of the year, man. That's insane. Last 5, they all missed games.
You almost hope you don't win that. if you're Saquon, you're like, I hope I don't win it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of eyes on the Eagles this year. I mean, they definitely are still the best team in NFL.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
But like I was telling our buddy, because he's like, the greatest of all time, and what's his name? Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback. Like, I don't see him in best quarterback. The way I judge quarterbacks in terms of best in the league is you take him out of that team, put him into a different team. Does he get that team better or worse? That's how you know. Jalen Hurts, if you put him and switch him with Lamar Jackson, opposite will happen. Eagles will get better and the Ravens will get worse. So like their only thing is literally Saquon. If Saquon gets injured, or something happens to him, knock on wood, then entire season's gone. They're not competitive.
Saquon won half of the games for them, more than half.
Exactly.
10 games for them by themselves.
He could have won more if he had caught that ball, even that week 2 loss that they had.
And in the playoffs, Saquon has won the games in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Except for the Super Bowl. I mean, it was other people, but before Super Bowl, Saquon has won them every game.
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much shut down the Commanders in the NFC Championship game because that long-ass run that he had, even against the Rams, he had that run too. It was just like, oh my God, like the Rams had so much momentum and he just completely killed it. So like, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's literally one player carrying that team.
I've never seen that, man. I've never seen that ever.
You don't see that often. You kind of see with quarterbacks a little bit, but not so much like a running back.
It's tough. It's tough because
like Henry did it, but he wasn't good in the playoffs.
You gotta break those tackles, man. That's so tough, man. He kept on doing it for that whole year, man. I was like, God dang, dude, what the hell?
So, I don't know, man. Like you said, Rams got better. I agree with you there. I don't think the only thing I don't believe the hype is that Devontae Adams is the next coming of Justin Jefferson. But besides that, I think the Rams obviously will get better. And then Commanders got better. Everybody else in the NFC did get a little bit better. Who knows how the Niners will look if they are going back to their true shape after signing Brock Purdy. They might be better. So, like, it's going to be much tougher for the Eagles this season for sure. But they are still the best team. I'm not denying that in the NFL so far.
Well, I want to see how the season goes because Lions are going to be hungry, I feel. Lions are, the way they ended in the first round, they're going to be super hungry. Or second round, they ended.
The Lions, I think, won't be as good this year.
Well, they lost both of their coordinators.
I think worse off will probably be Minnesota.
They lost both of their coordinators, man. So let's see what happens. Well, my man, we can end it off here. You're going to be off to Paris.
Perry?
Perry.
Let's go, Perry.
Eating,
I will send you my... escargot. We should try escargot. You know what that is, right? Escargot? Chat. Tell Kanyo who's escargot. Escargot is... Don't worry, I'm not trying that. I'm not trying escargot. Jen asked me, like, what my wife asked me. She's like, "Oh, do you want to try?" I'm like, no. There's some things that I will not try. Like, I will be flat no. There are some things, and most things I will try at least once. But escargot, thank you. I'll try the duck liver thing. It's actually really good and all that other stuff. But no, thank you.
Well, man,
At her parents' house this past weekend, they had balut. You heard of balut?
of blood, right?
No, balut it's a duck egg.
Oh yeah,
but it's formed.
Yes, I heard.
So when you open it, it's actually a dead baby duck, and then you eat it. They asked me, my mother-in-law asked me, I was like, no, I'm good. Again, I will always try something, but there are things that I cross the line. So like that, I won't eat escargot and veal. I don't eat veal because baby cows. I don't eat baby stuff. Like no, thank you. Like no.
So you saw them eating that egg, that balut.
Yeah, my father-in-law was eating it. I mean, Jen won't even eat it. She's like I don't eat that stuff anymore. I guess.
So you gotta crack it open. You gotta crack it open, or how does that work?
You crack it open, and then you see it, and then you put some vinegar on top, some salt, and you just eat it. So like you see the little beak, the little feathers. It's very graphic when you eat it. I was like, no thanks. You gotta try it though, man. YOLO.
Well, my man Tapas, enjoy your trip to Paris, man.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll come back and we'll see the OKC Thunder, celebrating the championship.
We'll do the pod either Thursday or Friday. When I know you're back on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll do how you feel Thursday or Friday. We'll do it, man. Yeah, and we'll talk about Game 7. Hopefully,
we'll do a live stream of your aerobic yoga.
You better be ready to do that too. If your Pacers lose, bro, Pacers win, man.
I'll do it. You know, I'm down. I have no shame in that. But I know it's not gonna happen. I picked the right team for this. I feel confident.
Hey, if Indiana pulls this off, you can never accuse me of having bad takes and calling me Skip. And calling me Skip Bayless.
This would be your one correct take this whole time that we've been podcasting.
I'll milk you too.
One actual correct take. Actually, no. You actually had the Dodgers. I'll give you that. You had the Dodgers in the beginning. You're like they're legit. But Lakers take was pretty bad.
I also had Commanders last year. I was like, dude, they're gonna destroy. They're gonna win against the Lions.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
I'll see you in a week.
Exactly, brother. Have a safe flight.
Rambo
Enjoy.
out.
Take care.